Hello and welcome to the Redox Connection, where we talk about our extraordinary, beautiful bodies and how to take care of our overall well-being. Today's topic is cancer, considered amongst the 3 most causes of death. World Health Organization says that within the next 20 years, it will increase to 60%. We will see a 60% increase in people with this issue. Now with us today, Dr. Ray Dixon, chiropractor, naturopath, and one of the world's first redox educators. We're going to ask Dr. Ray to bring some clarity, reassurance, and hope on this topic. Dr. Ray, let's start. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. We would like to start directly with what are we talking about? What is actually cancer? The scary word.
Well, the human body consists of up to 100 trillion cells. So give or take a few trillion, 100 trillion is a lot of zeros. So there's 100 trillion cells and you began as 2. So 2 cells came together. They're called gametes, which of course is the sperm cell and the oocyte from the lady's ovaries. They came together and formed 1 cell. That 1 cell is now up to 100 trillion cells with a turnover of 20 billion every day. There's about 200 different types of cells. All came from that original fusion of the female and the male gametes. All came from that. 200 different types, up to 100 trillion cells. Most cells reproduce themselves. We're making more every single day, up to 20 billion of them. There's only 2 that they name that are not able to reproduce. I'll come to that shortly. All those ones that can reproduce, what regulates that? Well, that's genetically controlled, affected by many things. So if you're going to have 20 billion die today and you need to replace them, you would want to replace them with 20 billion. What if you lost 20 billion and you replaced them with 100 billion? Well, that's out of control. That's what cancer is. So when cells in the human body, whether it's a liver cell, hepatocyte, or whether it's an epithelial cell in the breast, or wherever that cell is, if its ability to regulate the numbers being reproduced is lost, and that's genetically controlled, then you have a tumor. You literally have a growth which the cells are no longer eventually resembling the original cells, even though we can trace it back to where it began. And those cells are just reproducing out of control and they're not performing normal functions that keep you alive and healthy. You now have a malignant tumor, otherwise known as cancer.
Right. And why is this life-threatening?
Well, because these cells will suck the life out of you. They will basically occupy space. So they're going to crowd out normal cells. So if it's in your liver has upwards of 3,500 known functions. So all those functions keep you alive. Mm. So if those functions get crowded out to the point where the liver can't do its job anymore, you will have liver failure and you will die. If the same thing happens in the lungs, and you have a massive proliferation of tumorous cells not performing normal lung functions, you will die from respiratory failure. So it depends on the organ. Remember, there's many types of cancer. I've given you the general description of what cancer is, but obviously the cancers in different organs perform differently because that organ has its own unique functions. But malignancies will kill no matter what they are or where they are, if they're not controlled, because they don't only develop in a given area, like the lung or the liver or the bowel, the breast. I mean, this is called the primary. So where the original malignancy develops is called the primary. But over time, and at different paces, again, based on different types of cancers, some of those cells will basically break away and they will travel through the blood or the lymphatic system and they will seed elsewhere. They'll literally lodge somewhere else, and this is now called secondaries. So now you've got multiple malignancies that potentially can develop all over the human body. And they're, remember, not performing normal healthy functionings. They're crowding them out. So they're essentially starving the life out of them. They'll suck whatever nutrition they need to survive from you. They'll deplete your ability to replenish your nutrition, because often appetite, cachexia is a term for advanced cancer where people are literally wasting away. So they're literally taking everything that your body needs to be healthy away, and so you die. And eventually so does a tumour, because the tumours are parasites. They're living in your body, on your body, by what you supply them. You supply the blood supply to them. Blood supply that feeds non-performing, non-functioning cells. So eventually, obviously, they will, if it's not controlled and reversed, they will take you to your demise, physically speaking.
And this brings me obviously to the next question. Is it reversible?
Well, many are. This is a huge area of debate and topic, of course. And there's also a lot of disagreement regarding therapies. Okay. The answer to your question is it? Well, again, that's asking cancer as though it's one entity. It's not. Okay. It's a multitude of different types. Some are much easier to reverse than others, but I've seen many miracles in the latter years that I've been working with cancer, and I am every day, that are absolutely astonishing. I mean, very advanced terminal stages I'm seeing reverse. So the answer is yes, it can be reversed. But that's not saying every single case at any age can be reversed. I'm not saying that.
Right. What brings us normally on this call also is understanding what role do the redox signaling molecules play in this scenario?
Well, redox signaling molecules regulate everything in the human body. Everything. You can't think of anything that redox signaling molecules do not regulate. Even the DNA, even the genes that control the numbers of cells are themselves regulated by redox signaling molecules. So redox signaling molecules is collectively known as the redoxime, and it's a completely exploded new medical science field in the last 22, 23 years. And in fact, it's because of those discoveries that I'm seeing some of the remarkable results that I'm seeing now. Now, this doesn't mean I haven't seen malignancies and cancers, which is the same thing, they're synonyms, reverse in the past. There's been many therapies. Medical model has its own methodologies with chemotherapy and radiotherapy. I'm not a fan of those, but because they're as toxic to healthy cells as they are to cancer cells. But I'm not going down that avenue. That's up to the people who they choose to follow in terms of their therapies. From a natural healing perspective, I've seen miraculous cures from cancers my entire 40 plus years career, but I'm seeing more now.
Right.
Okay, there's cancer around, but I'm seeing more miraculous results. So there's many therapies out there. There's Liatral and B17, and there's herbal formulas that have been shared around the world that have helped many. There's just fasting, increasing your body's ability to detoxify through many natural means. Eating cleaner water and cleaner food is a great start, always, obviously. And none of those, by the way, are taken away from the redox signaling molecules. In fact, they all influence the redoxime. So a healthy lifestyle will improve the amount of redox signaling molecules that you naturally make in the mitochondria of every cell. And you will lose less of them if you drink clean water, breathe clean air, eat clean food. The problem, though, is you still go into progressive degrees of deficiency with age in redox molecules. There's only one formula that's ever been developed in the human race and in this world that is a bioreplenishment formula for those molecules, and it's relatively new.
Right. So thank you again for, in this very short time and space, to give us a bit of clarity and, as we said, a bit of hope too, and reminding us of what we call the redox lifestyle, topping up the molecules and bringing into our daily lives those healthy habits that will support life so that we can help the body find again its pathway to healing and health. And remember, we remind also to put in mind, thought behind all this. And we really look forward to coming on another call with you, Dr. Ray, and expanding this, because obviously it is so brief. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think it should be just added briefly. Why do cells lose the ability to control the numbers? Like, what is the first place? Why is that ability to regulate cell numbers is lost? And of course, there's a number of things one has to factor in. The human body is remarkable in its ability to heal if it gets what it needs. And the immune system, among many, but is primary in that. Now, your T lymphocytes and your B lymphocytes and some other white blood cells are designed to be able to recognize self from non-self and to be able to kill, if you like, tumorous cells that might otherwise become a malignancy when they're functioning correctly. And that functioning breaks down. When that ability and functioning breaks down for your immune system to be able to determine cells that have been sufficiently mutated and damaged, and therefore to kill them. So when you lose that ability, then malignancies can develop in the human body anywhere. And of course, other things contribute to that. A lack of redox molecules contributes to that. Deficiencies in nutrients contributes to that. So there's a whole bunch of things that contribute to it. But essentially, just to remind everyone, the body, when it's healthy, has the ability to prevent cancer. It has the ability, it's designed to prevent it when it gets what it needs.
Exactly. And this is, again, as we're saying, a brilliant reminder. How can we prevent it is activating in our lifestyle, that healthy lifestyle, and doing our best to support our bodies to function well. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you again, Dr. Ray. And we look forward to our next calls, and to all of you tapping in. Thank you for joining us. Please write questions in the comments, share it, and join us on this journey. We are opening a whole little platform where an Oasis of Health and Healing, where we will be diving into the different alternative ways that we can support life during this challenge. And just remember, healthy cells, healthy you, happy you. Bye for now.